What do teenagers hide on their phones? It's pretty dirty. Are you sure you wanna know it? Okay, here we go. I'm 20, but I hope my answer still qualifies. First of all, there are notes. Lots and lots and lots of notes. Poems, song texts, notes about stories I'm currently writing. I'm an author. Grocery store lists. Email drafts I wanna run by my mother before sending them. Important things I shouldn't forget like dates or books I want to read. I'm very forgetful, etc. Then, there are the messages. Very private messages. If somebody steals or hacks my phone to look at them, they will 1. Lose my trust forever and 2. Have access to the forbidden knowledge of things like I write grammatically correct and use the right orthography. For your information, very few people here care about the rules of our native language in writing and just spell the words however they like. I send memes to people. I use way too many emojis. Now to the probably dirtiest things of all. The photos. You'll find tons of selfies that looked way better in the mirror. Screenshots of my lock screen indicating cool times like 2112 or 0 hours. More selfies. Pictures of me and my friends at graduation. Self-made memes I may or may not post on Reddit. Pictures of me with family members. Lots of screen recordings of the time turning from 23:59 to 0 hours. Yes, I have a thing with numbers. Selfies. Pictures of flowers that my parents sent in the family group chat. More memes, etc. Pretty revolutionary, right? That's about 99% of what's in my phone. And sometimes, the 1% includes videos of me and my friends playing beer pong at a random place in the city at night. Particularly ugly selfies or messages to friends in which I confess private things or complain about my parents. But you know what? People that really matter to me and to whom I really matter already know all of those things. And people who don't fall into that category don't have any right or reason to access this information. I showed my parents all of the videos of the night after graduation even though they didn't seem too interested. In fact, they were the one to help put all of the beer in my car. They trusted me that I wouldn't drink anything and I didn't. I talked to them about everything, because there is trust between us. I know I can call them in the middle of the night to drive me home when I'm totally drunk and miss the bus. By the way, legal drinking age in my country is 16. So would you rather have trust with whatever person whose phone you'd like to inspect so they willingly share private information or break their trust forever just to find disturbing close-up pictures of that person's nose? It's up to you. See, if you're asking this question because you think your children are hiding stuff from you, they probably are. Dangerous things? Most of the time no. Movies always show teenagers as these rebellious, violent, drug addicts. Is that what the majority of teenagers hiding on their phone? Of course not. I myself am a teen or close to one, depending on where you are from. Do I want my parents to go through my phone? No way. Do I post revealing pictures of myself to the opposite ex? Hell no. Do I talk to the opposite ex? Yes. I show all my guy friends funny memes I saw that day or something ridiculous someone said to me. Do they flirt with me? No. Do they occasionally send cringy pickup lines to me? Yes. Why? Cause they're cringy and we're probably going to laugh our heads off later. The majority of my friends are all girls. Have I even hung out with my guy friends outside of school? No. I only hang out with my go friends. Honestly, I have no weird or inappropriate pictures on my phone. Just the occasional anime dude on Pinterest. What can I say? I'm a weeb. Most of my boards legit contain stuff like, I change my password to incorrect. Why? So when I forget my password, it'll tell me, your password is incorrect. If you think these things will affect your kid's future or grades, they most likely won't. I am a total weeb. I have husbands and I constantly quote anime characters. Are my grades bad? No. I always maintain a grade from B to A. I have always kept my grades high. So the most your kids are hiding is probably an embarrassing or cheesy secret they told their friends. Honestly, make sure you understand your kids and trust them. If you don't trust them, Don't come back on Quora years later asking my kid refuses to see me and cut off all connections with me. What do I do? Your fault. I called it. Trust them and they will trust you. Simple. This question makes me believe you are probably suspicious of your child hiding something from you on their phone. And honestly, it's usually nothing. If you are worried they are being harassed, bullied, targeted in any way, just take them aside and tell them that you are feeling a little worried and want to make sure they are doing okay mentally and physically. Don't be afraid to just pull them aside and ask them if they are okay, but don't bombard them with question after question, and trust them to tell you if they ever need help. From my own personal experience, it has usually been nothing. Many teens, or people in general, would feel uncomfortable if their parent, guardian went through their phone. It is the equivalent of them trifling through your room and closet, usually without your permission. This is bound to make anyone uncomfortable, as it is their personal space, and having that breached makes not only the trust in you, the guardian, go down, but also makes them very afraid and more willing to be closed off if they believe you will just invade their privacy at any moment. The most I have hidden on my phone from my parents, that I actually do swear sometimes, that my friends come to me if they are feeling mentally unwell or very upset. Apparently I offer very good advice, and that I have accounts on writing websites to write and, or read. That's it. And my friends all usually hide the same things. They have different views than their parents on subjects. Some are in the closet, or they read fanfics original fiction. Many guardians believe fanfics original fiction is just smut, which makes many guardians upset if they think their child is reading online, even though that is not the case most of the time. The most extreme thing that I know for a fact a friend hides from their parent on their phone, that they struggle with anxiety. Though that was not something hidden for very long, as we talked and they decided to talk to their parents about seeing a counselor. They trusted their parents and told them when they feel they needed to. Trust your kid, and if you are deathly afraid then just ask them if they are okay and don't bombard them with questions. I assume this is coming from a parent who's skeptical of their child. Listen, every teenager is gonna have things that they hide. But don't ever raid their phone or room out of nowhere. It's invasive, disrespectful, and shows that your teenager's boundary means nothing to you. A lot of the times they're hiding insignificant things, like cursing in text messages or inappropriate memes. But sometimes it's things more personal to them, such as their sexuality, or helping a friend solve their personal issues, or even a boy they like. Now this doesn't mean you should assume your child is gay or has a crush and raid your child with questions. This is just something to consider. If you look through your kid's phone, you could be forcing them to tell you something that they would have told you later when they were ready and more emotionally prepared. You could be getting access to personal info about their friends who wouldn't want you to know their personal info. A lot of the times, if you don't berate your child with questions, they'll tell you what you wanted to know on their own time. If you suspect your child of drugs, don't raid their whole room and look through their phone. Strike up a discreetly started conversation about drugs and say, but I know you'd never do that. I trust you to do the right thing. I remember one time I got tipsy and a few weeks later my mum was talking about drunk driving and she said, I know you wouldn't do that kind of stuff. And I felt so guilty. Later I stopped drinking by myself. Most of the time your child will express regret for bad things they didn't fix their morals on their own. However, if you have legitimate proof that your kid is doing the wrong things continuously, then you need to have a serious talk, but never violate their privacy. Chances are, your teenager isn't hiding anything malicious at all. But when it comes down to it, it really just depends on the type of friends they have, if they don't have strong opinions, and what kind of person they are. Good luck. Red heart as an exclamation mark. Well, my greatest secret is that I'm a quite popular fan fiction writer in Russian speaking community and I have all my work on my phone. There's a lot of violence and a tiniest bit of erotica in the story, which is not great for my family to see, but my main issue is not even that. Their reaction would totally make me uncomfortable. If they liked it, I'd be overthinking whether they're being honest. If they didn't, I'd probably die from embarrassment. Also, there are of course some jokes we crack in WhatsApp groups with my friends that may not get past my parents' censorship. But ultimately no peen or secret boyfriend in his 40s from Tinder or whatever you probably expected asking this question. PS my mum used to check my phone without permission when I was around 13 and that fricked up our relationship for years. I still have this constant fear that I'm doing something wrong or unhealthy even when I know I'm not. And though we talked it out, she apologized and stopped doing that. I kinda feel like I'll only learn what privacy really is when I move out for college. They hide just as much as you do. Private conversations, perhaps embarrassing pictures or memes. Things they don't want to share with absolutely everyone. You don't want to share your phone with the world. Neither does teenagers, especially not in that edgy and awkward phase. A 14-year-old is too old for you to monitor. They're a teenager now and in just 4 they'll be an adult. You or anyone else have no business snooping their phone. It's their property whatever you gave it to them or not. If it's a gift you gave it to them, it's no longer yours. And not your business. Many parents think their children owe them something, and invading their privacy is exactly how you create a bitter relationship with your child. It's the worst thing you can do to a young teenager. You break trust and they'll hate you for invading them in such way. If you feel something is up, talk with your kid. Open communication is the way to a good relationship with your child. If they don't want to tell you, you're either a really invasive parent, or it's just none of your business. Your child do not owe you explanations for everything and anything. You do not own their properties. And if you use a well, you're under my roof. Under my rules they live in your home. Because you brought them there. It doesn't mean you can invade and snoop everything they own. So, I've seen a fair few posts from what I think are teens stating that there's nothing. Unfortunately this wasn't the reality for my 14-year-old brother. My mother recently took his phone off of him as he had been coming over from my father and refusing to spend time with any of our family, which is a common thing for our family to do, and spending all of his time on his Xbox or phone upstairs. So we snooped. We found inappropriate photos of other 14-year-old girls, some even younger. We found him attempting to chat to 12-year-old girls, and we found him being blatantly homophobic, racist and exist. It made us sick. We also found disgusting pornographic and graphic images, stuff a 14-year-old should not ever be exposed to. There were messages of him bullying his peers, lying about every aspect of his life, claiming to do drugs and smoke, despite the houses he lives in pretty much being locked down with all of his family members inside. Unfortunately, our father will not take the things he has been doing seriously, and instead does the old boys will be boys thing. Or I can't convince him to come back to your house. Double standardized things that he used to berate me for when I was in similar situations as my brother. We don't really know where we're gonna go from here. We don't know what to do or how to help my brother, as it is far worse than we even thought it might have been. Always make sure you spot check your underage children's phones, especially as they come into puberty. It may be considered an invasion of their privacy or rude or they might get angry. But it's necessary. I thank my mother eternally for her doing it to me. She saved me a lot of hurt.